It's pretty terrible as far as the leg space.
And we're 8 minutes in out of 12 hours.
Well, this 12-hour saga was almost over, but then we ran out of gas. So the bus driver and his attendant went on a moped with a giant container, and we're assuming to the gas station. Well, it's now been over an hour and a half. It wasn't the gas. And now, for some reason, they locked the door, so none of us can get out. That's really hot. Well, they finally let us out of the bus. It's another 20-30 minutes later, I think. It sounds like they may have got it to start working.
This right here is our driver in the mirror. He looks really tired because he's been driving for 14 hours now. And he fixed the bus after he let it run out of gas. We did notice that he's been chewing what we had previously described as tobacco, but we've learned since then that it's actually betel nut. That's what turns everyone's teeth red and rots their teeth. But it keeps you awake, gives you a caffeine rush, and we noticed there was a huge bottle of him like spitting his remains all night long in it. It's pretty gross, but we're glad it's keeping him awake so far. So hopefully we don't, run out of gas or break down again. This is our Burmese friend here. We go forward, right? He's also drinking out of a canteen and insisting that we drink some, but he smells horrible and his teeth are gross, so of course we decline.
Pretty sweet.
Everyone's in better spirits now that we're moving. He passed out drunk and his head was constantly on me, and then he woke up and was continuing drinking.
How many kids do you have? You have 2 kids? Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've also read that in Myanmar they call AIDS Aid 5 because they mistranslated the S as a 5. That's the official name of it in the country. Aid 5.
Look at Justin participating.
I've gotten less sleep than the bus driver.
This guy's awesome.
Alright, so we're in Yangon now, former capital of Myanmar. The ride here was pretty much a nightmare. We left Inlay Lake at 5:30ish p.m. And it was supposed to take 12 hours. The bus was awful. We did some videos, so I'm sure that'll make it in the vlog. We had no leg room at all. The people were unbearable. It was very crowded. People were sitting in the aisles. The drunk guy was like constantly bumping into us. It was a disaster. I did manage to get some sleep in the end, so it wasn't too bad. But we broke down. We were stuck there for I think over 2 hours. First, we ran out of gas, which we thought was ridiculous. Like, how does a bus line run out of gas on a bus route they do every day? I don't understand why they allowed that to happen. So it took 2 hours to get out of there. Then we got to Yangon, and it there was so much traffic. This is the New Year week, so I guess like a lot of the locals travel around the country, and I don't know if the traffic was due to that or if that was just normal everyday traffic, but it took us forever to get into the bus terminal itself, and we got a taxi. And it took us forever to get out of the bus terminal in the taxi. We took a taxi to a guest house that was recommended by one of our travel friends, and it took forever to get there. It was like a half an hour ride. By the time we finally got there, it was way more expensive than we had been led to believe. I think it was $50 a night.
Yeah.
Which is too much for us on this trip. So then we took another taxi to another place. We got there, and that's where we're staying now. It's a good enough place. But all in all, it was another 24-hour plus day for us. We did sleep on the way, but, you know, albeit in like a reclining position like that, like not even 45 degrees. So we checked in, we got caught up on sleep, feeling better now. The first place we're going to is the #1 site in the city, and in the country for that matter. It's called Shwedagon Pagoda. You kind of can't really see it from here, but that's what it's supposed to look like. But it is like right around the bend here. So we're gonna go check that out. Probably get something to eat. Tomorrow we're going to just wander around and see the city. And the following day after that is when we fly out and go back to Bangkok, and it's also New Year's Day. There's a water festival, so that should be exciting. And then when we fly into Bangkok, it's also their water festival, their New Year also. So we get 2 water festivals in 2 different countries. We also booked all the remaining flights today, 7 total. So we're now flying everywhere basically for the rest of the trip and not taking any more buses.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and we stop in Hong Kong for 3 days after Vietnam, and then we have a day layover in Tokyo, so that was an unexpected surprise. So we're really excited about that. So we just entered Shwedagon Pagoda. Shwedagon Pagoda. Pagoda. Some more neon lights. They made us cover up our blasphemous Western skin. The pants are actually Kristen's.
I bought these.
Yeah, she bought those willingly. See what I have to deal with.
Oh, there's more Buddhas in there.
It's really hot in that building where we bought our tickets.
Wow.
But out here, it's outside, it feels better.
Sure does.
I'm glad we came here now instead of blaringly hot.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. Although it's weird because
The ground is really hot.
Yeah, the ground is still really hot. Obviously, the sun is just going down now. It just feels very, like, surprisingly hot compared to how the air is. Wow.
Wow, that is. Wow. Huge.
Paper and scaffolding is on it.
Yeah.
We were curious as to why this is such like a famous site, because in all the pictures it looked really similar to all the other pagodas, but the size of it is what differentiates it. This is definitely the biggest one we've seen. And it's gold. I guess not all of them are gold. How do I get people to do that to me?
Cool you off.
You know, another reason why I think I like this more than a lot of the other pagodas is aside from the actual pagoda itself, the buildings and the architecture around it are much more impressive. Like all of these buildings are awesome. Actually, I think the pagoda isn't even like the highlight of this location here. Like I like these buildings more than the pagoda.
Do you? They are very pretty. All right, we're in Yangon. Day number 2. We're just walking down the street where our hotel is. And one thing that we've noticed a lot of are the holes where the irrigation system is in. And they have these sometimes really large pallets and sometimes smaller pallets, and they place them over top. And we noticed last night that they removed the pallets at nighttime, and I guess they put them back during the day. So it kind of reminded me of like modes. So we were wondering, like, if someone wasn't used to this.
Like, there's no pallet here. You have to walk like on the street or on this little platform right here.
And yeah, if someone's not used to it, I mean, you can very easily fall, like if you can't see, if it's nighttime, or if the pallet isn't on top.
Good thing there's not like a...
Show this. It's just like strewn on top. They just throw it.
Yeah, good thing there's not a thriving nightlife where people walk home drunk here. I think there would be a lot of accidents.
And like the water is just scum, and it's barely like flowing at all. But there is like a layer of water, and I just don't want to fall on that. So we forgot our flashlight yet again because we're the worst travelers in the world.
This city is kind of dark at night too.
It's so dark. There's no lights except for
there are
the
street
lights.
But they're sporadic at best.
Yeah, and they put up a lot of neon lights on Buddhas and the temples, which is like just kind of weird for us to see. But there's no street lights.
Switch order. Shan noodle soup. Shan is one of the indigenous ethnicities of people here. The hike we did outside of Inkai Lake was to the Shan village with a Shan guide, and this is their most known dish. We ate some in the village, but it seemed like it was just like a ramen packet. It wasn't like, homemade like this. I like it.
Yeah, what does it taste like?
I kind of expected it to taste like lakso in Singapore. Laksa.
The meatball soup.
Yeah, but it's better. I like it more.
Are there peanuts in it?
I didn't get any peanuts yet. It might be onions.
Okay.
We ate at a restaurant last night, and I had shrimp, and it looked like it had peanuts all over it, but it was onions. So I think this might be the same thing.
Yeah, it was the same thing with my tomato salad. They're all about the dried onions here. But it's good, very flavorful.
Sometimes it's overwhelming, but this is a good portion.
Oftentimes with a lot of our Burmese dishes, we get like these random little dishes. This is the first time I think we've only gotten one. Usually we get like 5 to 7. And I guess they're sometimes pickled.
Yeah, I'm always afraid to try them because I hate pickled things.
I always try them, but oftentimes they're like not exactly good on their own. I think they're meant to be put in there, but we're not exactly sure. In fact, I'm gonna try it. I'll let you know what it is. Yeah, it's pickled spicy spinach, I think, with celery.
That sounds heinous. That's all you.
Yeah. It's like pickled spicy and like has a hit of sour to it. I don't think I've ever had that before.
So we've kind of gotten some questions from people back at home wondering how we can afford such a trip like this. So we thought we'd try something new with the video blog and document throughout an entire day on the trip how much everything costs. So today in Yangon we're going to do that. First thing we paid for today was our hotel room for the day. It was $27. And sorry. We just ate brunch, I guess, lunch, whatever it was, before, and it was 3,500 kyat, so that's $350. That included 2 soups, one for each of us, 1 water, a 7-Up, and this popcorn, which we don't like because it's sugar instead of salt. They said it was salty.
Turn it upside down. Just turn it upside down.
It's also 1 solid piece of popcorn. Should we just give this away?
Yeah.
So far we're up to about $30, and a huge chunk of that, of course, was for the room. So we'll see where we stand by the end of the day.
And the room also included breakfast.
Included breakfast, yeah. All right.
All right.
Spend more money.
So for the new year, they celebrate by hosing people with water and also shooting water guns at each other. And I guess this guy just stopped. But before they were hosing the guy who's standing in the middle of the truck, or at least was, with water. Of course, now that I start recording, it stopped.
Alright, so we decided that we are going to take what's called the Circle train, and it takes 3 hours, and it leaves the city, and it goes into the countryside. It's kind of recommended. It's not a hugely popular thing to do for travelers, but it's kind of recommended because you can see, like the lifestyle of the farmers and just the rural villagers. So here's our ticket. It cost us an unbelievably low price of 200 kyat each for a 3-hour ride. That's only 20 cents each. So add that to the tally.
So we're in our 20-cent train. It smells like urine. So we already got squirted with water while we were waiting for the train by some kids with, yeah, you got really wet.
It feels really good, and one of them was really cold water, but like, I think they were aiming for my camera, which wasn't so good. It's not supposed to start till tomorrow, but I guess some of the kids are really excited.
Yeah, we've already seen a bunch of kids with water guns, so.
They're selling water guns at a lot of places. And,
we should probably buy some today.
It seems like, it's only for the new year. It's not like they always sell them, even though they probably should. We also just bought these blocks of flavored ice. I thought mine was cherry, but I think it's watermelon. Anyway, these were 50 kyat each, which is 5 cents each.
So we spent a total whopping 10 cents. So we've now officially spent $31 total today.
27 of which is the hotel room. So far this ride has been pretty disappointing. It's not really quite so rural, which is what we sort of read. That's actually probably the nicest thing we've seen the whole time. We're more than an hour into it by now.
Yeah, it's just a lot of trash piles, or mountains, trash mountains more so.
And it's just like not very rural at all. Like, this is the most rural it's gotten. It's just sort of seemed like we were in the city the whole time. And we're about to start looping around and going back towards the city. Also, these seats are really uncomfortable, and they're not like, they're like, as you can see, horizontal to the track, so you kind of have to turn around to look out the window.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a letdown. Happy New Year. This is our third of 4 New Year's celebrations this year.
That's a good point. Alright, so I just bought a bunch of these. I got a big bag for 500, which is
50 cents.
It feels like a really firm tomato, and it also kind of looks like an unripened tomato. Tomato.
How exotic. Is it good?
It's really good. That's so funny. We're told to get something that looks similar to this, and then it has a pit inside, and it looks exactly like this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no pit though. It's just a tomato.
The biggest attraction on this train happens to be because we're here for New Year's. We don't even know what it's called in Peru. But it's got doused in water from somewhere as we went past. And then like a second later they got doused in water. People are just throwing buckets of water at the train as we go by. And New Year's doesn't even start until tomorrow, so I'm sure it'll be nice and chaotic in the city tomorrow. They just got it in there. They're out there pulling the bucket. It must be like what these kids do all day.
Yeah.